Table of contents.
Turkey.
Turkey.
This is the flag of Turkey.
The Republic of Turkey.
Dr. Sydney Soclof. Dr. Sydney at earthlink.net. 2021.
Where is Turkey?
Turkey, in Turkish, Türkiye, is known officially as the Republic of Turkey.
Turkey is located at a point where the three continents making up the Old World, Asia, Africa and Europe are closest to each other, and straddle the point where Europe and Asia meet.
Because of its geographical location, the region surrounding Turkey has been important throughout history, and is the birthplace of many great civilizations. It has also been prominent as a center of commerce, because of its land connections to three continents, and the sea surrounding it on three sides.
Turkey is a Eurasian country that stretches across the Anatolian Peninsula, also known as Asia Minor, in Western Asia, and Thrace, or in Turkish, Rumelia, in the Balkan region of southeastern Europe.
Turkey is encircled by seas on three sides, the Aegean Sea to the west, the Black Sea to the north, and the Mediterranean Sea to the south. Turkey also contains the Sea of Marmara in the northwest.
Turkey has 2 European and 6 Asian countries for neighbors along its land borders. Turkey is bordered by Bulgaria to the northwest, Greece to the west, Georgia to the northeast, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran to the east, and Iraq and Syria to the southeast.
The island of Cyprus is in the Mediterranean Sea, to the south.
The Sea of Marmara is often considered a part of the Mediterranean Sea, whereas the Black Sea is generally not.
This shows the Bosphorus, and the bridge joining the continents of Europe and Asia, at Istanbul.
This is Bosphorus, and the continents of Europe and Asia, at Istanbul.
Separating Anatolia and Thrace, are the Sea of Marmara, and the Turkish Straits, the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles.
The Turkish Straits are commonly used to delineate the boundary between Europe and Asia, thereby making Turkey a transcontinental Eurasian country, of significant geostrategic importance.
This is the Bosphorus Bridge in Istanbul, connecting Europe, left, and Asia, right.
These are ferry boats passing through the Bosphorus, which connects the European and the Asian sides of Istanbul.
Asian Turkey, made up largely of Anatolia, which includes 97% of the country, is separated from European Turkey by the Bosphorus, the Sea of Marmara, and the Dardanelles, which together form the water link between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean.
European Turkey, Eastern Thrace, or Rumelia in the Balkan Peninsula, comprises only 3% of the country.
The European section of Turkey, Eastern Thrace, forms the borders of Turkey with Greece and Bulgaria.
The population of Turkey is 75 million. The territory of Turkey is more than 1,600 kilometers, or 1,000 miles, long.
And 800 kilometers, or 500 miles, wide, with a roughly rectangular shape. Turkey is about the size of France and the United Kingdom combined.
The Asian part of the country, Anatolia, also called Asia Minor, consists of a high central plateau between the Kulurglu and Pontic mountain ranges to the north and the Taurus Mountains to the south.
There are narrow coastal plains along the Black Sea and Mediterranean coasts.
Eastern Turkey has a more mountainous landscape, with the eastern Taurus Mountains.
and is home to the sources of rivers such as the Euphrates and Tigris.
And contains Mount Ararat, Turkey's highest point at 5,165 meters, 16,946 feet, close to the borders with Armenia and Iran.
This is Mount Ararat, the highest peak in Turkey.
Mt. Ararat is said to be where Noah's Ark came to rest after the Great Flood.
Turkey's varied landscapes are the product of complex earth movements that have shaped the region over thousands of years, and still manifest themselves in fairly frequent earthquakes, and occasional volcanic eruptions.
Only about 1/6 of Turkey is relatively flat land, mostly near the coasts.
The Bosphorus and the Dardanelles owe their existence to the fault lines running through Turkey, that led to the creation of the Black Sea.
There is an earthquake fault line across the north of the country, from west to east, which caused a major earthquake in 1999 in the northwest, that killed more than 17,000 people.
This map shows the volcanoes of the Mediterranean and Western Asia. We see that several are located in Turkey.
This is a seismic hazard map of the Mediterranean region.
We see significant hazard regions in the eastern Mediterranean, and in particular in western and northern Turkey.
These are the major cities of Turkey: Istanbul, 11.3 million, Ankara, the capital, 4.3 million, Izmir, 3.4 million, Bursa, 1.6 million, Adana, 1.4 million, Konya, 1.3 million, Gaziantep, 1 million, and Antalya, 0.9 million.
Most of the population is in the western part of the country, in the Istanbul region, and around the Sea of Marmara, along the Aegean coast in the region of Izmir, and along the Black Sea.
Here is Izmir on the Aegean coast of Turkey, about 250 miles south of Istanbul.
And the ruins of the ancient city of Ephesus, about 50 miles south of Izmir.
Here are some principal cities of Turkey, and the ancient city of Ephesus.
Ethnic Turks form the majority of the population, with 80%, followed by the Kurds at 20%. The Kurds also extend into Iran, Iraq, and the Republic of Georgia, formerly part of the USSR.
The predominant religion in Turkey is Islam, mostly Sunni, with 99% of the population. Nevertheless, Turkey is a secular country. In a 1928 constitutional amendment, Islam was removed as the official state religion.
The official language is Turkish.
Although Turkish is not a Slavic, Germanic, Romance language, it does use an alphabet very similar to the Roman alphabet.
Turkey is the successor state to the Ottoman Empire, following the fall of the Ottoman Empire in the aftermath of World War I.
Turkey is a democratic, secular, unitary, constitutional republic, whose political system was established in 1923 under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
Since then, Turkey has become increasingly integrated with the West through membership in organizations such as the Council of Europe, NATO, and the G20 major economies.
Turkey began full membership negotiations with the European Union in 2005, having been an associate member of the EEC since 1963, and having reached a customs union agreement in 1995.
Turkey has also fostered close cultural, political, economic and industrial relations with the Eastern world, particularly with the states of the Middle East and Central Asia.
Turkey is classified as a developed country by the CIA, and as a regional power by political scientists and economists worldwide.
The history of Turkey.
Ancient inhabitants of Turkey were among the world's first agriculturalists. Such civilizations as the Hittite, Phrygian,
and Lydian flourished in Asiatic Turkey, Asia Minor,
as did the Persian Empire.
And later on, much of Greek civilization.
To the north of Greece, in Macedon, Greek technological and organizational skill was forged with a long history of cavalry warfare.
Under Alexander the Great, this force turned east, and in a series of 3 decisive battles, routed the Persian forces and took their empire, which included Egypt and the Phoenician lands.
The major centers of the Mediterranean at the time became part of Alexander's empire as a result. His empire quickly disintegrated, and the Middle East, Egypt, and Greece were soon again independent.
Alexander's conquest spread Greek knowledge and ideas throughout the region.
These eastern powers soon began to be overshadowed by those further west in North Africa. The former Phoenician colony of Carthage rose to dominate its surroundings, with an empire that contained many of the former Phoenician holdings.
However, it was a city on the Italian peninsula, Rome, that would eventually dominate the entire Mediterranean basin. Spreading first through Italy, Rome defeated Carthage in the Punic Wars, becoming the leading force in the region.
The Romans soon spread east, taking Greece, and the Greek heritage played an important role in the Roman Empire.
For several centuries under the Roman Empire, the Mediterranean became virtually a Roman lake, surrounded on all sides by the empire, and was called Mare Nostrum, or RC. The map indicates why they had good reason to do so.
The empire extended from the British Isles in the northwest, Egypt in the southeast, and from Armenia in the northeast, to Mauritania, now Morocco, in the southwest.
The Roman Empire thus encompassed the Mediterranean, ruled every civilized land in Europe and Africa, and extended into Asia. The only other civilized countries in the world lay farther east, in Asia.
The western part of the empire, including Gaul and Iberia, were invaded by nomadic horse peoples from the Eurasian steppe. These conquerors soon became settled, and adopted many of the local customs, forming many small and warring kingdoms.
The splendor of the Roman Empire lasted several centuries, until around 400 AD, when hordes of invaders descended from the north, the Goths and the Vandals and the Huns from Asia, led by Attic, wreaking terror and devastation.
The empire was finished, with the deposing of the last emperor in 476 AD, when a new age commenced, the Middle Ages.
Temporarily the East was again dominant, as the Byzantine Empire formed from the eastern half of the Roman one. The Byzantine Empire encompassed all of present-day Turkey, and extended far beyond it, especially to the west.
After the fall of Rome in the 5th century, Constantinople, now Istanbul, was the capital of the Byzantine, or Eastern Roman Empire, for 1,000 years.
Another power was rising in the east, that of Islam, while the Byzantine and Persian Empire were both weakened by centuries of stalemate warfare during the Roman-Persian Wars.
In a rapid conquest, the Arab armies motivated by Islam, and led by the caliphs, swept through much of the Middle East. The Arabs reduced Byzantine lands by half, and completely engulfed the Persians.
In Anatolia, the expansion was blocked by the still capable Byzantines. The Byzantine governors and indigenous kingdoms of North Africa could not mount such a resistance, and the Muslim conquerors swept through the region.
And at the far west crossed the sea, taking Iberia, before being halted in southern France by the Franks. Later, the Byzantine Empire and the Arabs dominated the Mediterranean.
Europe was reviving, however, as more organized and centralized states began to form in the later Middle Ages. Motivated by religion and dreams of conquest, the kings of Europe launched a number of crusades to try to roll back Muslim power, and retake the Holy Land.
The Crusades were unsuccessful in this goal, but they were far more effective in weakening the already tottering Byzantine Empire that began to lose increasing amounts of territory to the Ottoman Turks. They also rearranged the balance of power in the Muslim world, as Egypt once again emerged as a major power in the eastern Mediterranean.
This is the Byzantine Empire around the year 1400.
Ottoman power continued to grow, and in 1453, the Byzantine, or Eastern Roman Empire, was extinguished with the fall of Constantinople.
Constantinople, now Istanbul, fell in 1453 to Ottoman Turks, who ruled a vast empire for over 400 years.
The Ottomans already controlled Greece, and much of the Balkans, and soon also began to spread through North Africa. North Africa had grown wealthy from the trade across the Sahara Desert.
But the Portuguese, who, along with other Christian powers, had been engaged in a long campaign to evict the Muslims from Iberia, had found a method to circumvent this trade by trading directly with West Africa.
At the height of its power in the 16th to 17th centuries, the Ottoman Empire spanned 3 continents, controlling much of southeastern Europe, Western Asia and North Africa.
The empire was at the center of interactions between the Eastern and Western worlds for 6 centuries. With Constantinople, Istanbul, as its capital city, and vast control of lands around the eastern Mediterranean during the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, who ruled from 1520 to 1566, the Ottoman Empire was, in many respects, an Islamic successor to the Eastern Roman, or Byzantine Empire.
Sultan Suleiman, I, called the Magnificent, and the Lawgiver, reigned for 46 years from 1520 to 1566, as the 10th, and greatest ruler of the Ottoman Empire.
Under Suleiman the Magnificent, the region became a thriving, sophisticated, and huge trading center, despite its frequent earthquakes. It was cosmopolitan, with Greek Orthodox, Jews, and Muslims, and many languages spoken among locals and visiting traders.
This is the Ottoman Empire, under Sultan Suleiman I, in 1580.
The Selimiye Mosque is one of the most famous architectural legacies of the Ottoman Empire.
In the 16th and 17th centuries, the Ottoman Empire was among the world's most powerful political entities, often locking horns with the Holy Roman Empire in its steady advance towards Central Europe, through the Balkans, and the southern part of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth.
And with the combined forces, Holy Leagues, of Habsburg Spain, the Republic of Venice, and the Knights of St. John at Sea, for the control of the Mediterranean basin.
The Ottoman Empire frequently confronted Portuguese fleets in the Indian Ocean to defend its monopoly over the ancient maritime trade routes between East Asia and Western Europe. These had become increasingly compromised since the discovery of the route around the Capes of Good Hope in 1488.
The growing naval prowess of the European powers confronted further rapid Ottoman expansion in the region when the Battle of Lepanto in 1571 off the coast of western Greece checked the power of the Ottoman navy.
This only slowed the Ottoman expansion, instead of ending it. The prized island of Cyprus became Ottoman in 1571. The last resistance in Tunisia ended in 1574, and a 22-year-long siege in Crete pushed Venetians out of this strategic island in 1669.
A balance of power was then established between Spain and Ottoman Empire until 18th century, each dominating their respective half of Mediterranean.
The development of oceanic shipping began to affect the entire Mediterranean, however.
While once all trade from the east had passed through the region, the circumnavigation of Africa allowed gold, spices, and dyes to be imported directly to the Atlantic ports of Western Europe.
This was the route taken by ships in Columbus' day, around the southern tip of Africa and eastward to the Spice Islands of Asia.
After nearly a century of decline, the Ottoman Empire entered World War I, 1914 to 1918, on the side of the Central Powers and was ultimately defeated.
During World War I, an estimated 1.5 million Armenians were killed in the Armenian Genocide.
Just before World War I, Turkey, or the Ottoman Empire, ruled what is now Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and islands in the Aegean Sea.
Turkey joined Germany and Austria in World War I, and its defeat resulted in the loss of much territory, and the fall of the Sultanate.
After the end of World War I, the victorious Allied powers sought the dismemberment of the Ottoman state through the Treaty of Sèvres in 1920. Most of the territory in the Middle East was put under the control of the victorious Allied powers, especially Britain and France.
This showed the partitioning of Ottoman Turkey, according to the Treaty of Sèvres, 1920, following World War I.
The former Sultanate of the once vast Ottoman Empire was reduced to just the area of the Anatolian Peninsula shown here. The rest was put under the control of the various Allied powers.
The occupation of Istanbul and Izmir by the Allies in the aftermath of World War I prompted the establishment of the Turkish national movement.
Under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Pasha, a military commander who had distinguished himself during the Battle of Gallipoli, the war was waged with the aim of revoking the Treaty of Sèvres.
By September 1922, the occupying armies were repelled, and the country saw the birth of the new Turkish state. A newly founded parliament formally abolished the Sultanate, thus ending 623 years of Ottoman rule.
The Treaty of Lausanne of 1923 led to the international recognition of the sovereignty of the newly formed Republic of Turkey, as the successor state of the Ottoman Empire. The new republic was officially proclaimed on October 29, 1923, in the capital of Ankara.
The Ottoman Empire lasted 623 years, from 1299 to 1923, when the modern Turkish Republic was established, under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.
A republic was declared October 29, 1923, with Mustafa Kemal, later Kemal Atatürk, as its first president. Atatürk led Turkey until his death in 1938.
Mustafa Kemal became the republic's first president and subsequently introduced many radical reforms, with the aim of founding a new secular republic from the remnants of its Ottoman past. The Turkish parliament presented Mustafa Kemal with the honorific surname Atatürk, meaning, Father of the Turks, in 1934.
Turkey kept neutral during most of World War II, entering on the side of the Allies just before the end of the war in 1945. The country became a full member of NATO in 1952, and remained a Western ally despite domestic political instability.
This is the Grand Chamber of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey in Ankara.
Ahmet Davutoglu has been Prime Minister of Turkey since August 2014.
Turkey began full membership negotiations with the European Union in 2005, and negotiations are continuing. Table of Contents.